Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today we're going to be putting up a new tarp that we just received in the mail. I'm pretty excited to put it up, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this tarp. It is a canvas tarp and it's made from Sunforger canvas. I had it custom made at a company called Blockade Runner down in Tennessee, a little place called Bell Buckle, and I will make sure and put a link in the description box below. But this is for a video series that I'm hoping to do in the future, and something along the lines of an 1880 camping series. And so I wanted to get some gear that would be similar to what people would be using in the 1880s, which would be a lot of Civil War type military surplus. And of course a canvas tarp is very, very useful. This one is 9 by 9. I'll get it laid out so you can see what it looks like. I'll give you a shot of that. Okay, so as you can see, get on the other side of the camera here, this is 9 foot by 9 foot, and of course it has on each corner, it has loops, and then all the way across, all the way around every 3 feet. So it has 2 loops in the middle on each side, and then it has a loop in the very center. There you can see the loop in the center. And also all around all 4 sides it has sewn in loops. It doesn't weigh a whole lot. I'll make sure and weigh it and put the weight on the screen, but really happy with the way this tarp turned out. And it is made of Sunforger canvas, which is very, very waterproof and rot resistant and all of that. So pretty happy to get a hold of it, and I'm gonna set it up and see what it looks like. But first I gotta go cut some poles. So behind me is a section of our property, and it's pretty extensive, runs back through here, that I call pole heaven because there are so many small trees growing in this area. And if you know anything about forestry, you know that most of these small trees aren't going to make it to maturity. They will thin themselves out as they compete for space and sunlight. And so it actually does the woods a bit of a favor to cut out some of the extra poles. And so every once in a while when I have a project that I'm going to keep these poles, and for this particular tarp tent, I intend to use these multiple times. So I'm looking for good straight poles. I've got a lot of small maples in here, some hickory, and different things like that. So that's what I'll be looking for, and I'm going to be cutting several of those down. So just have to pick the right ones. Okay, so we've got all of our poles cut for the A-frame section. I've got a long ridge pole cut over there, and then I've got 6 tent pegs cut. And I was able to use some of the same trees. Found one that had been down earlier, so even though I have a lot of these poles, you can't cut them indefinitely, and I do want the other ones to grow. But I have quite a bit of property and quite a bit of woods, and I do want to manage it and make sure that the other trees are able to mature. So, all right, let's go down there and start setting it up. All right, so we got all of our poles here, and 4 for the uprights. For the A-frame, we've got a long center ridge pole, and then we've got all of our stakes, and I'll have to cut and whittle those. Brought the some line to tie it out with, and then also got the hatchet, and I'm going to use this to just clean up a lot of the knots and things that are existing along the sides of these poles. Want to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Of course, eventually I'll want to make sure I peel the bark off of all of this as well, but for now just try to get it fairly smooth and keep from wearing holes in my tarp. So I'll work on this and get back with you in a little bit. All right, that does it for all of the poles, and now all I have to do is whittle the stakes and get them in place and get them done properly, and then we'll be able to start setting up our tarp shelter. And remember, like I told you in the last video, when you're whittling stakes, it's not only important that you put a bit of a point on there for driving in the ground, like so, but also make sure that you take time to crown the top so that as you pound it in, it won't smash your stake so bad, make it mushroom around the top. So just not anything fancy, just a simple crown. And there's your stakes. Do the other three and start doing some other stuff to put this tarp tent up. So the first thing we're going to do, we've got everything trimmed and properly put together here, is using this cotton line, and I will probably get some other type of cordage later on, but for now this will be sufficient. And I'm just going to cut a length or two of it and start lashing our front bipod together. Something like this. So that's the general idea. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to stake and tie everything out, and I'll get back with you when I got that done. Alright, that's looking pretty good. And the only thing we have left to do is we've got to put our stakes here on the four sides, or four stakes rather, on the two sides to stretch it out, give us our nice tight look there. And get a little more room inside. All right, do the other side, and I'll show you what the whole thing looks like. And there we have it. You can see, set up, staked out. The other side, very, very old school, and also very cool. Let me get inside of it and you can get an idea of how big it is. Alright, so as you can see, you can easily set up inside of here and plenty of headroom. And because it's so long, plenty of room to stretch out and stay out of the weather. So, the size of this tarp, there is plenty of room for 2 people. I mean, honestly, you could actually get 3 people in here, and even some gear, plenty of room. There's weather blowing in, and this is just an excellent canvas tarp. I'm really happy with it. I like it a lot. I think it's a great option. I like the old school look of the canvas, and the fact that you can carry it and you don't have to have a whole lot of other resources, just the tarp. And when you get where you're going, you can use poles, you can stake it out. Because of all the multiple tie-outs that are on it, you can just use ropes and cords and make a tarp that way with very, very simple things. Because it is square, it allows you to make a proper plow point, as well as just a whole lot of other configurations. You can even drop this far end here, bring that all the way to the ground and fold the corners in so that you can have only an opening in the front. And there's just a lot of configurations that you can do. Most of you are familiar with tarps. Also, I want to point out that this is video number 99, and I'm really excited about video 100, and it's going to be quite an adventure for me. It is going to be the 24-hour thrift store survival challenge. And what that is simply I have to go to thrift stores and pick out camping gear from thrift stores only. So not allowed to buy it anywhere else. And it took me quite a while to put together a decent kit, but I did it really inexpensively. And so I'm really excited to show you guys, and that should post next week. That'll be video 100, so make sure that you look for that. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. Please like, share, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And don't forget to press the bell button to stay notified of all of our upcoming videos. And we'll talk to you next time. Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today there's airplanes flying overhead, and every time I try to film, there's another one. We're going to do this one again. Alright, well, we've got all the poles cut. These are for the A-frame. I've got one for the ridge pole, and then also, I did it again until I had a frame.